What is up, nerds?
What up?
We are the Destiny Nerds. What is up, everybody? I'm Bearded Luke.
We got Havoc here, and we got our second guest of this podcast, Ampfy. Ampfy, talk to your people. Talk to all the people.
Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Ramfi. I started playing Destiny in the middle of Opulence, so around I think season 7.
Wow. So you weren't on D1, you started in D2?
So I actually played D1 when it first came out. I had a pre-order for the original Xbox One Day 1 edition, and then I was like, oh, what's this Destiny game? And played it up until about nonstop up until about Vault of Glass, and then after Vault of Glass, when there was no content, I just
you just wiped your hands and just walked away.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So Opulence got you back in. What got you into it?
Well, I was playing Rainbow Six Siege, and that game, the game's community just wasn't the best. It's very toxic. We had a really good community on it, in our small little community, but the game as a whole is not a game that I wanted to build my community around. So I had a few friends that were playing Destiny, and they're like, oh, you should give it a try. And I had the free version from when they had the 1-year anniversary, and they gave it free on Battle.net. Yeah. I was like, okay, might as well give it a try. Who knows?
Okay.
That's
all right.
awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's what I thought was cool. I just recently met Amphy, I don't know, 2 months ago. He randomly rated me, and then we kind of connected after that. And it was amazing to me how new you were to the community, but how insanely this dude's got everything done in this game. Every try.
So he's one of those people.
Those people are the best people.
I am a completionist. I'm 350 off max triumph score, and I'm very sad about it still to this day because no Iron Burden.
Oh, I'm not judging, man. I'm
hard
quite impressed. I just wish I had that kind of time. I just don't, but I commend you for that. I'm even more surprised, man. You played up to Vault of Glass.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, what else? There was nothing for you. So when Taking King dropped, that didn't entice you to come back. I mean, that was probably pinnacle Destiny in my opinion. So you're just no.
I was kind of just I was just getting into PC gaming. So I started when I first started streaming, I started on Call of Duty Ghosts back in 2014. I did game battles and stuff, and
battles. Oh man,
I used to get home from work and then hop on and do game battles, and then slam a couple of amp energy stuff, and then couldn't. This also kind of goes into
I feel
diabetes and stuff. No. So I couldn't figure out why I was so tired, and it turns out that a few months after I started streaming, I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So
oh really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But went from Call of Duty Ghosts, and then I started playing Counter-Strike. I have 2K hours in that game. Streamed that for a little bit, but between all the giveaway streams and all that, being the pro streams and stuff, it was difficult to grow. And then H1Z1 came out. I didn't play right away, but I loved the Battle Royale aspect of it, and put about between both games, H1Z1 and then H1Z1 King of the Kill, put about 4,000 hours in. So
that's amazing.
Wow.
When did you become? This isn't having anything to do with Destiny, but when did you? So if you don't know, if you're listening and you don't, or watching and you don't know, Amphy is a partnered streamer on Twitch, which is an awesome accomplishment. When did you become partnered?
So my partner thing was a little bit different. I was streaming for 3 years at the time. The whole H1 scene kind of blew up, and I was on one of the first quote unquote pro teams, I guess. We had an org that was partnered with Twitch, and put the team together, got the org, all that stuff. And then before actual competition started happening, I ended up getting pulled into a Discord to basically be hey, even though I was like streaming 17 hours a day, like going scrimming, all that stuff, and like everything, they pulled me aside and they're like, we think we need to find a better fifth, and I kind of got the boot. And then the org basically put my name down like on the roster to Twitch as like a quote unquote coach, so I was still able to get partnered because I was working a job at a gas station convenience store in the kitchen, and it was literally just ruining my quality of life. The way I was treated there just was awful. I ended up putting in my 2 weeks and then going full time, streaming 12 hours a day, I think 6 days a week. And then I had gotten the email saying like, oh, you've been accepted into the partner program or whatever. And I almost didn't take it. I was like so set on getting partnered the quote unquote right way that I almost just let that opportunity slip. And the thing is like when you get partnered, like that's just the beginning. Like there's so many like avenues that are opened up, and I've seen so many people get partnered and just completely throw it away. Be like, okay, this is the end game.
They're like, I did it.
Nothing
they feel like
to do.
they peaked, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah,
just stop trying.
100%.
That's the beginning. That's when it's like, all right, this is real. I can do a lot of stuff with this. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I'm always interested in those people. And
that is quite the story. I mean, like, that's, and I respect you even more saying like you didn't want it to be handed to you. You still wanted to do the grind like everyone else does.
Yeah,
and trying to earn it. So like I do respect with that. So obviously you got into Destiny with Opulence and carried on through. And is Destiny your main game that you currently stream on your channel?
Yes, I would definitely say Destiny is the main game I stream on my channel. I started like at the end of when it was on BattleNet, and I think I put like 1,200 hours in, but it doesn't track that on like the time wasted on Destiny. But on Steam alone, like since it's swapped, I've put in over 4,000 hours.
Crazy. I just can't.
That's amazing.
I brag about putting in, my 2,500, but this guy, okay. He's flexing.
I mean, I was like looking on Twitch since 2014. Obviously 2014, I don't think you can find stats on. I think it's my pin tweet, but it says, let me go really quick. I have streamed over 10,000 hours. It was 10,194 hours in like 33 minutes or something.
Grinding. He's grinding.
Yeah.
That's
Never
amazing.
had like a crazy amount of viewers. I've always focused on the quality over the quantity.
Yeah. Your quality is good. Like the whole feel, the graphics, everything.
Listen to Luke over here gushing.
If you ever looked at his graphical assets of a stream.
I watched his streams. I was in there the other day. I was chilling there for a bit. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Also, real quick,
I've been very blessed to know a lot of really talented people. My best friend Zach, he used to be the lead designer for Rogue, like the esports brand.
Oh, that's amazing!
And even like
Holy
helped
cow.
them like develop their logo and everything. So
that's amazing. Also, for anyone, I know there's a lot of people that are listening to this, but anybody that's watching this, usually you get to see video of our guest. It's just technology wasn't working for us. So I promise Ampfy is a beautiful man behind that logo. We just can't show you today. You got to go look. After this, you got to go to twitch.tv/Ampfy, and you have to actually look at him because he's a cool dude.
But try not to
face
swear.
reveal
You might get
at 1K subs, Kappa.
But yeah, I guess we'll segue into
let's
the
talk about
Destiny
Destiny.
stuff. Let's talk. So a lot happened this week. So Tuesday came around, and for those who are on console, like myself, the next gen patch dropped for the next gen consoles for Xbox Series X and S and the PS5. I know you two guys play on PC, so this means nothing to you. But for me, it was quite the reality check on things. I am not going to lie.
You like that FOV slider?
Frames.
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 Yup.
The FOV slider's nice. I'm trying to find a happy, like I've been told anywhere between 90 and 110. I'm sitting at 95 on my FOV. So
I go
just
all the
boost
way.
it all the way up.
All the
Just
way, bro.
throw her
I should
all
just
the
go
way
all
up.
the way up.
Yes.
But, but yeah, frames, man. It's yeah. The only thing that sucks is obviously for PvP, you play at 1080p and 120 frames. But there's not a lot of monitors that have HDMI 2.1. Really, usually, I think most TVs do.
True.
So right now, I play on a gaming monitor like most people do. But like, so I'm restricting myself to obviously 4K 60 frames, which is not bad. I'm not a PvP tryhard, so I mostly PvE, so it doesn't bother me all that much. But yeah, like it's night and day, man. Like night and day. And a lot of my clanmates that they're still on their PS4s, and like, I could feel the envy coming through as I'm on my frames, going all over the place, and like they're still trying to load in and everything. And yeah, it's nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty nice.
It does mean something to us, because I know we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but with crossplay coming next year, that means a lot to us PC gamers, because we get to play with console players, which is, we'll talk all about that later, because that's like actually massive.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about that. I have my thoughts on that, but yeah, next gen, I think, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, even from the PC community, they were impressed. A lot of people, were kind of like weary, like how is it going to translate? How is it really going to look? Is it really going to be that different? And everybody and I agree that Bungie knocked it out of the park with this next gen patch. So thank you for giving us frames.
Yes.
But that wasn't the only thing that didn't drop. The Hawkmoon Quest. I did not expect it. There was a lot of speculations that it was going to come in January. So as soon as it dropped, and for those who know or don't know, Hawkmoon is my favorite weapon in the entirety of Destiny. So I've been slowly waiting for this to come. And when it dropped, I'm like, all right, quest time, jumping right in, boom. My thoughts on this, it's night, like, if you had Hawkmoon in Destiny 1 and you got Hawkmoon in Destiny 2, two different monsters. There's some pros and cons with it, but I'm gonna give it to you guys. Have you guys toyed with the Hawkmoon? How do you guys feel about it before I give my thoughts? Because I have a lot to say, but I want to hear you guys'. Amp, you want to take it away with that?
Well, to start out, I couldn't even do the Hawkmoon Quest for the first 2 hours when I came out, because I kept getting error coded, and that was a lot of fun. And then once I finally did get in the servers, I would get to the end of the Hawkmoon, like first step, and I'd get error coded 4 times.
Ooh.
I got up. I was so mad. I got up and just punched my couch a bunch, the couch cushion, because it's not my monitor. It's not as expensive,
Yep.
You gotta think about that.
Mm-hmm. Smart,
but I think Hawkmoon is gonna be pretty solid when those random rolled chances come out, like opening shot.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't rangefinder
I
drop
think
on it too?
rangefinder can drop, yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna bring up the perks for it.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I did the quest. So I used to be off on Tuesdays, not off, but I used to work from home on Tuesdays, and not at this church that I work at. And I could literally go and do the stinking reset stuff right when it comes out. Now I have to watch everyone, and I was watching all the error codes and all that nonsense happening. But I did get it later in the day, and I don't know. I've switched back to controller from M&K over the past like 4 weeks, and it feels really good on controller.
Yeah. So I actually waited until I was really, like, last week. I was 1259 and 7/8 on like all 3 of my characters. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait until I hit 1260 base, so it'll just automatically be 1260 when I get it, so I don't have to infuse it up. But yeah, finally got 1260 base, and I did the Hawkmoon Quest.
See, grinder 1260.
So okay, so with the for me for the weapon itself, so it took me about a couple hours, give or take. So I like and I dislike a couple things. It feels like Hawkmoon. It handles like Hawkmoon. It sounds like Hawkmoon. All that awesome. Now with the perk that they added to it, a lot of people like it because now you don't have to rely on RNG. Because in D1 you have luck in the chamber, and holding aces they give you an extra, I believe, in the luck in the chamber shot. So with this you have to hit either precision hits or final blows in order to stack the buff on it. And in PvE, it's pretty good. Like you take out the little minions, and if you go, you can one shot the yellow bar and all that stuff. So in PvE, it's solid. I wish the clip size was bigger because D1 it was a 12 clip, and this it's 8. So I'm like, okay. And in PvP, I've had good matches and some bad matches with it. I'm still trying to kind of feel it out a little bit. I play on controller obviously by default, and yeah, like I want to like it. I do, and like I don't know how I feel about random rolls on exotics in general. Like I could see why people might like it because it gives you something to try to chase to get a god roll of an exotic. So I understand that, I guess. But like I also am like that old guy, like, you know, I don't like change. So leave exotics as a static roll. So like I don't know. Those are my thoughts on the weapon itself, but I think I was more I enjoyed the actual quest of it.
Yeah.
The lore and everything. And if for those who are listening and watching, if you haven't completed the Hawkmoon Quest, if you turn away or mute this portion, I'll understand. So it might be kind of spoilery territory. But the lore with if Aldrin or Crow, whatever you want to call him, you kind of feel bad for him. You start to like, I'm sure everyone leading into this, you know, Team K, let's have, you know, forget, you know, Aldrin killed him, yada yada yada. But
wait, he did?
Yeah, I know, right? and but the lore and everything, it just, I think it's the best piece of lore they've done in a long time. Especially with the quest. That's just my thoughts on it.
The missions were incredible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was really like good. It was like a Whisper of the Worm type quest.
Yeah, and not being timed to do it, so you didn't have to feel like you rushed it. But yeah, the lore and everything. Again, even if you don't like the weapon, listener or viewer, do it because the lore itself is just a 10 out of 10 for me. And most people loved it. Try not to spoil too much, but it's a very Aldrin heavy. And once you get the Hawkmoon, read the lore tab and picture it in Savathun's perspective when reading the lore tab of Hawkmoon. It's a good read. And then another surprise we got this week, guys, was this huge Destiny 2 dev update. Basically, the future stuff Bungie has planned for 2021. And it's a lot. Again, if you guys didn't check it out, go to bungie.net, go to the dev update rewards, and it's a huge thing, itemizing so many things that they have planned for 2021 and kind of teased us with this and that. First off, Transmog will be coming, Season 14. And they actually have screenshots on the little thing they posted. Definitely check it out. I'm kind of interested in the whole transmog thing. I thought it was going to be something completely different in a sense. I thought it was just simply going to ornamentize your favorite piece of gear. But obviously it's a little bit more advanced based on the screenshots that I saw. So
yeah, and they said that it's like early concepting too. I mean, this isn't the final, but it's definitely a lot different.
Yeah,
it's the same with like how they're gonna do crossplay as well. Like that's gonna be like 2021, but obviously that's so far out.
I think
it's not gonna be like.
Let's talk about crossplay, but yeah, I think Witch Queen is when they're gonna bring in crossplay.
Just like at the end of next year, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next fall expansion, and we were discussing
hopefully
before
it doesn't
stream.
Get delayed.
Yeah, that too, right? Knock on wood on that. But like, how console players are going to integrate with PC players. I think it should in PvP it should be an opt-in to go be in the PC pool, so to speak.
Yeah.
Whereas in PvE, obviously, everyone's a free for all. You could join in and whatever. But I that's what I think it's going to be. It's going to be an opt-in in PvP.
Yeah, that would be yeah. No, definitely PvP. I don't see it being as good as people think, but PvE, it's definitely gonna be great to be able to help like people on all sorts of like consoles and stuff while you're on PC, helping them through the raid and stuff. Because the way that like LFG is set up on console, like I know, like there's so many people in my stream that are like, it's an awful experience like trying to set up a raid team on console, and then PC it's just like, oh well, not you don't have just LFG, but it seems like the majority are on PC, like willing to help. That's what I love about the Destiny community too. Like anybody that's new, there's so many people that are just down to help and rerun through the stuff like over and over and over again.
Yeah, there's literal streamers that their whole brand is to help.
Yeah, they dedicate.
People.
Yeah,
which is sweet. You don't see that very often, and it's usually, unfortunately, typically, it's not always in the PC side of things, but a lot of times you see them on PC. It's gonna be so cool. They were basically at tripling the population for PvE, and you're right. I don't even want to like try to think about PvP because who knows if PvP's even still here by then. I mean, I hate to say that, but
yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen. Ascendant Nomad, I just saw a tweet that he put.
His video was really good.
How good was that? Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was so good. It was very, 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 very well thought out.
Yes. But that's a whole
and the
other
graphics
conversation.
and everything that Nyrus did.
Oof.
Wow. Just
impressive.
Just a wow. Yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Yes.
And then for you Stadia players, you should be excited. You get to play with other people and not the same 10 people that you constantly play with all the time.
I forgot about Stadia.
Next raid, just go for World's First Stadia. Nobody on Stadia actually finished the raid on day one.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe anyone was actually trying it on there.
But apparently it can run Cyberpunk really well. So, hey, there you go, Stadia. Then we got, obviously we knew about Vault of Glass returning. I think the sweet spot for Vault of Glass is probably season 14, because you don't want that long of a drought of continuously always doing the Deepstone Crypt over and over and over. Because we had that with Garden like a good year and a half of just doing that raid, and Last Wish, I guess, or whatever, the Scourge, and try to get the other weapons. But like, I think just before the summer hits, because that's when, Moments of Triumph and, all the other events that they do, I think the season before that, season 14, would be a good sweet spot for Vault of Glass. We talked about crossplay. They're bringing back 2 strikes coming in season 13 from D1, Devil's Lair, and Fallen Saber Strike, which it'd be nice to have a little bit more variety since they took like a majority of the strikes away from us.
Grandmaster Fallen Saber is going to suck, by the way. I'm not looking forward to it.
But at least they're going to give us a reason for Grandmaster, because now they're going to be adept weapons.
Oh, yes.
Destiny 1. We're getting Shadow Price. We're getting the Palindrome and the Swarm.
Yes.
So at least they'll give us a reason to do Grandmasters. I never felt like I needed to do it, because why would I want to?
Because there's a seal.
Like,
seal.
To touch on more on like the Vault of Glass thing, I feel like it's going to be even sooner, because I don't know if you've noticed on the moon, on all the like computer consoles, it has Venus.
I was going to ask if everyone saw that.
Yeah, they're cluing it little by little.
So you think season 13? You think season 13 it's going to pop up sometime?
Potentially, yeah. And I also think there's going to be a secret mission in the Hawkmoon Quest.
Ooh, like a different version of...
Okay, so
let's hear it.
I have a friend named Rexos, and he was like he found like an out of bounds spot, but I guess there was already a YouTuber that found it, but it's a huge just like scenery, like all this. It could definitely be like a jumping puzzle. It was massive.
Okay.
So and also on Hawkmoon for the perks, it's opening shot, rangefinder, moving target, killing wind, snapshot, Eye of the Storm, hipfire grip, quick draw, and surplus. And it does look like there's a like on Light GG, there's a little spot for a catalyst. So catalyst could
Maybe
give
up
it
the
more
max
bullets
size.
too.
Yeah, let's up the mag size.
You
That's
know?
all I want, and I'll be all right with that. Like,
That would be
seriously.
awesome.
You never know.
And plus, now I don't know. Maybe they'll drop it Tuesday, but the replayable final mission, in order to get said,
It's gonna have champions and stuff.
It's gonna have champions and stuff as well. So like, there's more content coming. So like, and then we got the Dawning coming.
They're
as well.
making really good changes. Like, I feel like one of the biggest things that I really enjoyed that they've done is the Spoilers of Conquest. Like, giving veteran players ways to re-roll weapons instead of having to be complete RNG. In the same respect, new players can get the old exotics and stuff from that they can't get from Quest by doing the new raid. It's like, it's a perfect medium, in my opinion.
I agree 100%. They're trying.
They're most definitely trying. There's a lot of people that will argue that they aren't, but
they are trying. And I personally, like, I'm never really a devil's advocate in this scenario. I'm always in the I love Bungie, and they're trying their best.
They can do no wrong.
They're trying their best. No, they can do wrong, but I always like to bring myself back down to earth and realize it's a video game I'm playing, and I know we all care about it a lot, but there's human beings making it that care a lot more about it than we probably do, and they're working really hard to make sure that we like it. And sometimes they're gonna make mistakes, and sometimes they're not. And I'm just the one that's chilling here, like, cool, do whatever. I'll be here playing it. Doesn't matter what year it is. If it's 2027, I'll be here.
The only time I'm not chilling is when I'm getting error coded in game.
That is annoying.
I did get error coded, so maybe that was a PC thing.
Oh, it definitely was.
It was happening on Xbox as well, because I was watching Goth stream and he was getting kicked off like 1,000 times.
I had contacting Destiny servers, but I never had a error code, whatever it was.
Well, it would start out with contacting Destiny servers, and then you'd have the little like hexagon like shape thing like circling, and then it would just be like error code arugula or error code chicken or beetle, like whatever. It's so annoying.
Couldn't imagine.
Speaking of VOG, one more time. Do you guys think there's going to be kind of like in D1 whenever it was like there was the regular raid weapons like Fatebringer and all those were just legendaries, but then they had the elemental versions be exotics? Do you think that's going to happen?
No, I don't think so. I hope not. For me personally, I just stick to the legendary drop of it as it's supposed to be. Don't make me choose, because I will not take an exotic Fatebringer. I'll use the legendary one no matter what. So
yeah.
I mean, everyone's different to that, but like, I do hope that they bring back the armor set and the ornaments that they had for it when it dropped in Rise of Iron, when they did all that big overhaul, making the raids replayable towards the end of Destiny 1. Bring back the ornaments like they did and stuff, like Cheddar White. I mean, come on, like one of the best shaders of all of Destiny. Cheddar White.
Yeah, I like Glowhoo, but we don't have that back yet.
Maybe Crota again will come back as a dungeon. Who knows? That's basically what it is.
I think that, like, I really hope that this raid comes this season, but I kind of think that each season they're gonna bring something big that's either new or recycled. So I think it's gonna come next season, and then the season after that will be, I don't know, a new dungeon or a reworked version of one of the old raids that just got shelved from last season, and then basically leading us all the way up until, because that's the one thing everyone complains about is, well, everyone complains about PvP, but they're obviously not worried about that right now. So a lot of people complain about, like you said, getting stuck doing one raid for an entire year, or getting stuck. I feel like they're trying to figure out a way to do it with the resources they have, because they can't make a new raid every season. That's probably
definitely not. I mean,
impossible.
It's impossible, but like, I mean, let's just be glad that there's something like there's doesn't seem like there hasn't been like a quote unquote drought. Like, as soon as Beyond Light dropped, right? There's always something to do, and once the raid was completed, there was even more to do. Now, granted, I'm not a fan of of the Wrathborn hunts. Like, I still don't know what the heck I'm doing half the time when it comes to what roles.
Yeah, there's got to be something coming with that this season. What do you think about that, Amphy? Like this season, because this season we talked about this last week, and I know this isn't really what we're talking about, but I just want to hear what you have to say about
Oh yeah,
this.
that's how it's. We could go off kilter. That's perfectly fine. Like, yeah, go on.
First off, this came into my head, and I've said this on stream too. I feel like this was kind of like their ace in the sleeve, where the content drought was happening. So they're like, okay, we have to release Hawkmoon now. That's why we're extending the maintenance, all this stuff coming out. Like, I don't think it was supposed to come this early, but I'm pretty sure it was kind of like, okay, guys, we gotta hold them until the dawning, and then the dawning will carry on more content, and then, but, I mean, Wrathborn, cool concepts. It's like supposed to be like Monster Hunter World.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I guess.
The bosses are way too easy. There's no difficulty. Apparently, they're supposed to be adding difficulty to it too. So maybe like a 1280 could be fun. I don't know. I like all the stuff that they've done this season, like the solo legendary lost sectors. However, the RNG and the drop rate is horrendous. You should not be going 10 runs on a 1280 and not getting anything. I went like 14 runs in a row and got nothing. And then I do a 1250 and I get it like once every 2 or 3 times.
What were you trying to get?
Just new exotics, like the better rolls on Arthur's Embrace and like a better Mask of Bacchus, that sort of stuff.
But yeah, I definitely agree with the legendary lost sectors and stuff. Yeah, it's something they tinkered with in the past. I believe it was Warmind. This one they tinkered with it at first. But yeah, I like the concept. I haven't really had, I guess, my RNG with it hasn't been too bad. Although I don't run it very often, but like when I'm
just don't run it on attrition. Just
don't.
The first time I did that. The one on the Cosmodrome, where it's like the servitor that you have to kill at the end.
Oh, that one. Oh, I hate that one.
So fun story. I was like, there's only one way to get the new exotics. So I was 1230, and I was like, oh, it's 1280. All right, let's see how this goes. It took me like 45 minutes, but I ended up finally getting it. In my first attempt, I got Mask of Bacchus. Could you imagine, though, I spent 45 minutes go to the chest thinking I'm gonna get an exotic and I get an enhancement core? Could you imagine how mad I would be?
45 minutes just to do that, because it would have took me like 4 hours. I thought I was. Go ahead.
I would throw my controller and my keyboard at the same time.
Yeah,
just saying.
I mean, I had difficulty attempting my first 1250 legendary lost sector when I thought like, oh, I'm 1235, I could do this, and no, I couldn't. I guess I'm not on your level, I guess. So thank you for making me feel small.
I'm sorry, I just play the game a lot.
Amphy's a beast. He's just smart at things.
I just learn. I learn from mistakes. I don't know.
But say I was doing the 1250s by myself, and I mean that's not as hard, but like I was doing it when I was super low light, and once I got down like a routine, like the first one was like 20 minutes, and then after that I was like I get it down to 8 minutes, and then I think the fastest I can do is 6 minutes. I'm not like crazy fast, but like if you get like in a rhythm and you're hitting all the right thing, it's like there's not really a lot of room for mistakes, but I can see where you know.
And now they're going to be expanding more of the legendary lost sectors to the moon.
Yeah.
And they're going to add 3 more new exotics to that pool, which I'm kind of curious. I'm going to assume it's going to be armor pieces.
Oh, most definitely. Oh yeah.
So interesting. It seems like has anybody noticed that it seems like when it comes to like new exotic armor piece, they're a little bit more creative of how they do them as compared to like I guess exotic weapons. Like I've noticed like they find like other perks and like kind of think outside the box of, oh good, this thing does this, well this thing does this, whereas seems like the exotic weapons, the last few, have been kind of like, okay, I guess, sure. I don't know.
They definitely do a better job at. I personally think they do a better job at armor, but it's easier, I think, to add like a cool perk to armor without making it OP.
Without
weapons.
like,
like they break weapons whenever they're like, and that's not
Well,
broken.
if you think
but
about it, because weapons can be used by all three classes.
Yes.
Armor pieces are only to like a warlock or to hunter titan. So
I really like what like they did with the what is it, necro? How do you say it? The
necrotic grips.
Yeah, when they take an exotic that helps another exotic. That's sweet.
It's a good pairing, with Thorn and those grips. It's a good pairing to have, and I hope they do in the future where you pair this piece with this weapon, like to maximize whatever, like. So I like the synchronizing with that. So hopefully they do more of that, and I believe they kind of did that as well in D1. For those who may remember the Talilok, the scout rifle. Basically, that weapon, like the time to kill on that weapon was so fast. Basically, you would have to hold your super, and it would that's basically what the
that was only for warlock, right?
I think it was a warlock exclusive weapon, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was so good. So, like, although I don't want them to have class specific weapons, but like stuff like that, I think you just see different builds and setups when you could synchronize certain things with certain pieces, and I just do the same. All right, I'm gonna get this and throw this mod on here to get this quicker reload, and throw this, like, no, I want to see better synchronization with weapon and armor, like they currently are trying to do, it seems, right now. So we got more legendary and master lost sectors going to be added to the rotation. The Fallen Saber and Devil's Lair. I'm going to assume they're going to add how they kind of changed the fake omnical strike.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna. Do you expect any changes with these two strikes coming up? With Saber
lots and lots of champions.
Yeah. Slap
so?
some champions in there and it's new.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I don't know.
Havoc, you know that the Omnigol one was part of New Light.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a funny story. Well, I knew that, but like, so I ran my middle child through Destiny. She's 7. So she had to go through, she had to do the New Light stuff. So I was kind of curious of the new way people would do New Light, because before that, your ghost would resurrect you, you do the first part, and then they just toss your butt into the tower, and you see all these things lit up like Christmas trees of where to go.
Yep.
And it would confuse new players so badly. Now they streamlined it so well where you're resurrected, you do the first part, you meet Mr. Fast and Furious, that's what I call him.
Shahan, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's like a story with that. So like it streamlines, you learn to be a guardian and this and that, and like running that through with my daughter, that was pretty neat. Like I never got a chance to see that because I'm not going to delete a guardian just to experience that. So,
I actually had like a free to play account that I've actually, I worked up to get Mountaintop, and I had Recluse and like a lot of the pinnacle weapons and stuff, but I haven't had a chance to play on it since the New Light Quest drop. But I did the New Light Quest when I picked it up from like the thing next to the what is it called? You can pick the quest up from the archive tab or whatever next to the postmaster. But one thing about it's actually really good to do the New Light Quest for one weapon in particular. If like anybody plans on doing Grandmasters or just anything, it will, in the third step, it gives you a Curated Night Watch, which is Overflow and Explosive Payload. An Explosive Payload stuns champions way more consistently than it would with like a normal scout.
Yep. That's what I've been using whenever I do this, when I solo some of those.
Well, I'm going to write that down because I did not know that. I was not aware of that.
And it takes the scout rifle from 19 shots to 38 when it's overfull.
It's insane. I love
Yeah.
overflow. It's such a cool perk.
Yeah, so we were raising money for Game to Give, and I was just gonna dismantle my escape velocity if we reached 1K, but I decided to because we hadn't hit it yet, and I was like, okay, guys, if we hit 1K, I'll dismantle my escape velocity and my overflow rampage summoner with extended mag. And we hit it,
Oh,
and
man.
I posted the clip to Twitter.
Are you crying?
There were almost real tears, man.
I can
One
imagine.
had like 4K kills, and the other had like 14K or something. It was for the kids
emotional.
though.
Hey, it's for
So,
Yeah.
it was worth it.
so we know how much of a completionist you are. So obviously, you got like all the pinnacles and stuff like that, and all the exotics. One would assume.
I have every seal, including double flawless and double
It's not what I
conqueror.
asked. It's not what I asked.
You gotta
can
talk
flex.
about your seals, though. I mean, that's what I say. If someone says, "Do you have something?" Well, I have all the seals except
I mean, that
for.
should basically say that if
Yes,
okay,
he has everything.
if somebody is 350 off max
Well,
triumph score.
I was going somewhere with this. So,
Okay, all right, take it away.
So, how did you feel of them putting a kiosk where you could purchase the weapons now? I never got Recluse. I could go purchase that right now. Granted, I'm not going to, but like, how do you feel about people able? Granted, it's a lot of.
It's
a lot
already
of-
sunset.
Yeah, but it's not sunset in PvP in quick play. Still use that.
Yeah.
But like, how do you feel about that? Like, being that you went through all that grinding, and now some Joe Blow can be like, all right, well, I have enough materials to exchange to get Mountaintop. How does that make you feel?
That's all I gotta say is just
That's what I expected. That's where I was going with that, because you're a completionist. You earned it the hard way, and someone like myself who didn't even bat an eyelash to try to earn it, I can buy it, essentially.
good luck
So-
saving up those spoils of conquest. Though it's like what 320 for anarchy.
I have Anarchy. Thank you very much.
But I had a
I
friend
know
that
for the
just
raid
recently got
exotics-
back into the game.
I know for the raid exotics, there is that currency that you need those, but for the pinnacle ones, you don't.
I don't know if you want to get that always on time sparrow, the 190. Whew.
Dude, I'm saving up for it because it never dropped for
Unless
me
they
before.
bring back
Oh, it's so
SRL,
good.
What's the point of having that sparrow? All
Well,
right.
it's glitched right now and does double speed.
Yeah, 190.
What are you racing off to that you need that much speed?
The loads times, we want to beat them.
You have PC. You don't have load times.
Sometimes
we do.
There's still load time sometimes.
The point I'm trying to make is it's not necessary. That's all. So with that all being said, did anyone else want to bring up anything else? Because that's all I have in my notes. But if you guys want to bring up anything that you would talk about, Luke, is there anything in particular that you want to bring up? And
I'm just personally excited for crossplay because, like, I know we talked about this, but I don't have a PS5 or I wonder if PS4 and I wonder if old generations are going to count.
I think
Probably
everybody.
not.
I think they're bringing everyone into the ecosystem.
Wow.
So I'm going to assume yes.
That's cool. Well,
That'd be huge for the gaming space
Yeah.
in general, not just
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
like I don't see when I can play with PS4 people. So like I don't see why it
that's
wouldn't
true.
be
That's true.
everybody.
I think that in general, not just like the idea of crossplay is something that, we grew up with these consoles and the console battles and Microsoft versus Sony and all that stuff. The idea of me being able to play on a PC with a PS4 or a PS5 or Xbox, whatever the number at the end is,
Stadia.
person or Stadia, is crazy. It's the coolest thing ever that we were always like, well, why can't we just all play together? And it seems like all the companies were like, yeah, sure, same.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm excited because I want to get probably get a PS5 at some point in my life. I don't know.
Gotta play that God of War Ragnarok, man.
Yeah,
Just
that's
saying.
pretty much why I would get one. But it'd be cool, like, to be in the living room and be able to play with my PC homies because I'm in the living room and not at my desk. I don't have a house right now, so if I wanted to play Destiny right now with people, I have to drive to a different location. So I'd rather be able to do that at my TV in my bedroom or something. That's why. So I'm just whenever they said that, it was like it meant a lot more to me than just the idea. It's cool that you can play Destiny with each other, with everyone. Like it's an actual community. It's like the community will probably come together even more because there's probably like a million PlayStation, Xbox people that all get to play together that we don't get to play with.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends who are on different platforms, and I don't talk to them.
We'll get to play together, Havoc. We haven't played since PS4.
Yeah, I know, right? You went to the grass is, I guess, is always greener on the other side.
The master race.
Yeah. What about you, Amp? You have anything Destiny related you wanna chit chat about?
Not really.
He's completed everything. He doesn't need anything else. He's good.
I think like this time of the year, it's always really cool to see all the people that band together. I was just browsing Twitter while we were talking, just like with all the game to give stuff, and someone, if you know who Trier Tristan is.
Yep.
Somebody came into his chat and said, "Would you delete your Destiny account to save a child's life?" And then I'm sure he probably said yeah, and he said okay. And then it's just somebody donating $2,100 with the message "Save a life." There's crazy. No other community like the Destiny community.
Nope.
Hands down.
Like that, or St. Jude that they do, like all that stuff. Like
that's another thing that drew me to this community too, because I had heard all the charity stuff they do, and I've been raising. I usually when St. Jude does their month of May, April or May, we usually will try and raise as much as we can. There was one year that we raised $5,000, and I ended up dyeing my hair ruby red. So that was interesting.
Pixar, I don't believe it.
Your branding in your hair.
Hold on, let me see
a picture. If you have a picture, link it in the chat. I want to see this.
So
it was very red.
So so I don't think I've ever asked you this. Well, I mean, you don't have to be too detailed in your answer, but like, whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin.
Nice.
Oh, so you're right above me. I live near Chicago, so you're right above me.
Yeah.
I live in Ohio. Right in the
middle. We could be friends.
Columbus.
So
the Crew just won the MLS Cup last night. I know nobody cares, but I do. Columbus Crew till I die.
All right. So have you ever gone to, I guess now it's GCX, but Guardian Con? Have you ever did that? You ever tried?
No, I was gonna go this past year, but it got canceled.
So are you looking to try to go next year?
Oh my
Most
gosh,
definitely.
Amphy.
Definitely.
Look at your hair in this. I'm definitely gonna link this. So if you're listening to this, I'm gonna try to link this. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to link this in the description on the podcast, but I'm definitely linking this on YouTube.
That
for the kids.
For the kids. So you just did Games to Give this week, correct? Tell me how that went. Or it's been the last few weeks, right? Kind of.
It was super last minute, and I was like, in my thought process, I was like, okay, Bungie has to hit you up to do this, so you're able to like send out the emblems and everything. And then my friend is like, no, you set up your campaign, and then they send out the emblems for it. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try. Like, basically 2 hours before like the whole thing launched, I had just set up all my stuff for it, and I set like a 1K goal, like nothing too crazy or drastic, but we ended up hitting it, so it was really awesome. And everybody loves seeing me eat Bean Boozled jelly beans.
Oh, so. Yeah, I used to do that. I couldn't do it anymore, man.
Yeah.
I can't.
I only eat dog food and puke so often.
Oh.
Nope, I'm good.
I 100% want to get into I haven't done any. I've done one. I did a Black Lives Matter like 24-hour. I was like part of a charity thing, but I want to get into that scene. Like this whole Games to Give thing, I've seen it all over the place. I didn't actually know what it was, and I still don't actually know 100% what it is because I haven't read into it.
So it benefits the Bungie Foundation and Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
Okay, that's awesome. Because I obviously always watch the GCX, they do the whole week. I'd love to be a part of that at some point. But the idea of a charity. So I'm doing a thing right now. Once we hit 2,000, I'm going to do it eventually, regardless of the followers. This is just trying to help get more people in the community. Once I hit 2,000 followers on my account, I want to do a 24-hour charity stream for a company it's a nonprofit in Columbus, Ohio called She Has a Name. So me and my wife, we're real big advocates for helping to end, human trafficking, which happens all over the world and this country and most likely wherever you live. And this company or this nonprofit, they're like abolitionists that are helping to bring awareness to that and, help get girls out of that scenario or males. It's not just females. It usually is females, but it's really sweet. So I'm going to do a fundraiser and we're going to try to raise money for that organization because that's the only way that it stays funded because it's a nonprofit, just like most.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. I love that we're talking about charity stuff because
I mean, it's community, man. So like charity and community go hand in hand, especially this community. So I'm glad you guys are talking about that.
Yes.
It's something I definitely want to do in the future as well. And I commend you guys. I've done it in the past, so my hat, I tip it to you. So with that all being said, before we head off for the night, Amp, was there anything you were looking to plug besides your channel? Is there any upcoming projects you have incoming? And any big projects coming in 2021? Anything at all? The floor is yours. Go.
Not really a whole lot. I mean, my YouTube, my Twitch, which are linked. One goal for 2021. I'm a Logitech affiliate right now. I'd like to become a Logitech partner in 2021 possibly. So, I don't know exactly what I need to do for that, but just word of mouth is huge and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't really like to work with companies unless I 100% back them.
Yeah.
So I work with companies like GamerSups and Logitech.
Same. GamerSups rules.
Mm-hmm.
Use Amphy's code. Don't use mine.
Or just swap off them. Use my code once, then use his, and then
just do 2 orders at once.
There's enough love to go around.
There really is. I love it. That's so cool, dude. It's been awesome talking to you on here. I mean, we always talk about the main reason we want this Destiny Nerds thing to be its own. It's not just a podcast. It's a brand that talks about Destiny. I mean, we have Xur videos and whatever Destiny stuff happens.
And we always have stuff to talk about. And
yes.
I mean, I like Luke and Luke likes me, but we only get to talk to each other so many times.
Yeah, we want to get to know everybody in the Destiny community.
So
for sure,
we don't want it to just be streamers either. Eventually, we want to hit up YouTubers and other content creators. But I want to also literally have just people that play this game come on here and talk with us, so that we can just.
Even the little people such as myself and Luke.
We are
you don't have to be a big streamer or a big content creator. Just be in the community. That's it. Play the game. That's it. That's the application right there. But other than that, Luke, I guess that's the end of tonight's show. Again, thank you for those who are listening and watching the podcast. Again, just a friendly reminder, Mr. Luke gets the audio portion to Anchor, which distributes to other streaming platforms like Spotify, Google Music, etc., etc. I usually tweet it out once it goes live. So if you like listening to podcasts on the go, be on the lookout for that. But if you happen to miss the live portion, we do upload the VOD over on our YouTube channel as well. So check it out in all its glory. Sadly, you won't see Amphy on it because
you will see him if you go to the very end. Whenever he was plugging himself, I may have done something on top of Havoc's screen.
Teaser.
That showed somebody with red hair.
the teaser. I love it.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, you may or may not see Amphy with red hair. But other than that, guys, again, a pleasure doing this as always. And for those listening and watching, thank you. And we'll see you next Sunday.
See you later. Bye.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye. 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 Bye.